Everybody, it's Kim. I am trying to save my tomato harvest again this year. I am not only fighting potato beetles on them, but blossom end rot and tomato hornworms. So this is how I make sure I get my fair share. As you can see, I have tomatoes everywhere. They're taking over my kitchen. And I have more I need to pick. But right now, the hornworms are a little more under control. I've been picking them off every single night. And what I do in case you get to this point where you need to, harvest your tomatoes, whether frost is coming or whatever, you can do the same thing. As you can see, a lot of them I just have piled up in a box. What I do is I go through ones that are starting to ripen. I will set aside to make sure that they're not in the bottom. I kind of sift through my little boxes every day, and I find ones that are starting to ripen a little bit more, and you'll see I separate them out like that. Once they are ripe, I then take them to the sink, rinse off any dirt if there's any, and simply take the core out, and then I will throw them in a gallon zipper bag like this. I just take the core out and I put them straight in the bags. Each bag holds approximately 5 pounds of tomatoes. Pretty close, a little over 5 pounds, and I stuff them in there pretty good. The reason I do this is I don't want to fire up my canner in the heat unless it's full. And it takes a little over 20 pounds, between 21 to 23 pounds of tomatoes in order to do 7 quarts in my canner. So I will just get 4 or 5 bags of these in my freezer. Now, I do have the freezer space. I have the one on my refrigerator, plus I have 2 chest freezers. So I don't have to worry about, the, room that it takes up to do this. So anyway, I wait until I get enough, and then it's really simple. You just rinse them under warm water and the skins will slide right off. It's a lot less hassle than dunking each one and peeling each one in boiling water. Then I can decide if I'm going to do whole tomatoes, chopped tomatoes, tomato sauce, pasta sauce, whatever I want to do with them. So this gives me time to get them all together. And I will do them 7 quarts at a time because I'm not wasting the space in my canner. But in case you're having an issue with, either pests or possibly a frost coming up, don't worry. You could pick your tomatoes as you want. They will just simply ripen in the boxes, on the table, wherever you happen to have space for them. And then you can go ahead and use them as they ripen. And I wanted to show you one last one, my monster tomato here. That baby is 3.8 pounds. It's an heirloom that my daughter gave me. And this is the second one I had. This was a little bit bigger than the first one for this particular tomato. And I'll have to ask her what it is again. I'll put it down in the comment section. But anyway, don't worry if you're having pest problems, you're tired of fighting with them, frost is coming, just pick them. You don't have to waste them. And stick them out here if you have a spot to let them go. Now, I told you I was fighting blossom end rot. The reason I picked my aromas early was just for that purpose. As you can see, this one's just about ripe. That little bit, I'll be able to cut that out. When I take the core out, I'll take the core on this side, cut that out on that side, and I'll actually get a usable tomato out of it. If I waited until it was ripe, the blossom end rot just keeps going up and up the tomato, and I get like this much, and it's not worth trying to save. So at least you could save some of your tomatoes. Now, this is the second year I've had trouble with the aromas. I'm going to have to look for something resistant to the blossom end rot because obviously it's an issue. I have fed them calcium and magnesium. I've checked the pH in the soil. It's just something that I cannot control in my area. So next year I'll look at a different paste tomato type. But don't worry about your harvest. Go ahead and pick them. Pick them green. They'll be fine. Leave them there to ripen. Throw them in the freezer if you need it. or can them up as you can, and you will have your tomato harvest for at least another year to come. If you have any questions, leave them in the box below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.